So I'll just be honest with that. So I'm sure I'm going to get some questions about that when we open it up for discussion. And this is what the charge is for that committee, and I will read it for you because it's pretty encompassing. It says, the authority to make recommendations to the Chancellor. And if you look at all the other committees, they don't say that. The recommendations really go to the Planning and Budget Committee. That they will receive a response from the Chancellor before the Chancellor pursues any significant course of action. That way there is some dialogue. I think sometimes when we talk about shared governance, people think shared governance means that you consult with whoever, classified professionals, faculty, and you do what we say. Whether it's classified professionals, whether it's faculty, doesn't matter. It doesn't really mean that. It means that you have dialogue about it. And in some cases, it says specifically that you will rely primarily on faculty in certain instances, for example, curriculum. But it doesn't mean that you have to do everything that the faculty say or that the classified said. Hopefully, by dialoguing, and that's why you see the two-way arrows, you come to some consensus. But we all know that doesn't always happen. The other thing is to receive the draft policy and initiate and consider that for the Chancellor. If the Chancellor has something that he wants to put out to the campuses, then this would be the body that would be the first that he would talk to as the shared governance body. Not saying he isn't going to talk to GAF, not saying he isn't going to talk to the PFT, not saying he isn't going to talk to individuals who walk in his office and knock on his door and sit down and have a conversation. But this would be the formal body for that. And then to receive the, oh, I did that one. Okay, staffing. It would be a co-chair. It would be a faculty member and an administrator. It would also be a process manager. And in this case, I believe that process manager is going to be Tom Smith. Because if you notice on the chart, the budget committee went away. We used to have a budget committee, so now we combine them into planning and budget. So the process manager would be the chief financial officer. And we will also have one president on each of the committees. So for technology, that would be Dr. Herring has volunteered, because the presidents have all heard this too, and amongst themselves, they've agreed which one they would do. So Dr. Herring would be the technology. Dr. Inclad, Betty Inclad, who is the president over at BCC, would be on the education committee. Dr. Bobby Adams would be the president that is on the planning and budget committee. And Dr. Chong, Frank Chong, over at Laney College, will be on the facilities committee. And they would make recommendations on accountability and ensure accountability and follow through. Because that's the other thing that people complained about. Well, we submitted this, but nothing ever happened to it. Or what happened to it? So this would be the committee that would provide that feedback, that accountability. And again, they would have note takers and they would make reports on this. And it would still follow the planning and budget cycle that I presented in the earlier slides. I think we're almost finished. And this would be the composition. And again, like I said, please take a look at this. You have it in front of you. Any notes or comments? There would be 7 faculty, at least 1 member from each college. And the college governing body would make that recommendation. In any of these cases, it would be the college's recommending body. So it would be, in this case, I believe, the PFT working with the Academic Senate to make recommendations. For the classified recommendations, it would be the classified Senate and 1021 making that recommendation, or 39, Local 39 making those recommendations. For students, it would come through our ASCOA would make recommendations. And then for administrators, those recommendations would be coming from the president. And when I say recommendations, all recommendations go through the president for final approval, except for the faculty and the students, and really even classified, but mostly on the administrative side. Okay. Next steps, and we're gonna go fast through this. We're doing the town hall meetings right now, getting feedback from all the colleges. We want to make a final recommendation before the end of the academic year. We don't want it to be decisions were made when everybody was on vacation, so that's why we're kind of speeding this through. All existing policies will remain in place during the transition. This would take place July 1, so it would start with the new academic year. And a final model would be presented at the district flex day when we get back in August. So even though we make the decision, we send it out, we would still, that would be a presentation that we make at that fall flex day. And then those revised committees would start in the fall. They wouldn't start in the summer. Any questions? You guys are very attentive.
Are the committee other members?
Yes, with the CWG. Yeah, if the committee members would come up front, that way everybody could hear you. And if you have a question, Carrie and I will kind of rotate around so you could ask the question and everybody can hear. We are recording this. Get up there, everybody. We are recording this because not everybody is here. We will have it posted. We will also make some CDs if you go up to AV if you want to check it out, because we do want people to know what we're doing, even if they couldn't be here. I know we do still have faculty and staff that are either in the office working or in classes. So, Tom? Oh, come on down. You're the next contestant.
Now we're interested in your feedback. Jeanette's done a fantastic job of explaining this new entity that we're proposing to the district, and so I'd like to give her a hand. So, feedback. As I said, it will be recorded. Deborah.
Deborah, can you come up to
the,
I'll put the microphone up here if you
okay.
can.
Yeah.
Just so that we get the question is recorded on the microphone. Not trying to put anybody on the spot.
No, I don't totally understand the process. Okay. I have 4 things. First, I would like to present to the committees or the deciding bodies that the researchers are not considered part of the classified senate or the union in representation. We're loyal to both bodies, but we also have special things that we would be bringing to the table, and that there should be a researcher on each committee. And I will write that down on my little sheet. And looking at your larger version of the wonderful PPT that Jeanette did, your formula for allocation, I would like another consideration to be put in, and this is called the element of sustainability of enrollment, that the current model focuses on, excuse me, I twitch all the time when I talk, it's nerves. Anyway, the current model focuses on, of course, the chief currency, FTES. However, we have a major problem, and I've been looking at the data, sharing it with my colleagues, of student success and persistence in this district. And I would like for consideration that the allocation model also include what I am coining sustainability enrollment indicators, as well as FTES.